So I think.
Aloha everyone, and welcome to our first meeting of the new year of 2024. This is the Early Learning Board. And I thank all of you for your flexibility in having to change schedules to make this particular meeting today. We'll begin the meeting as we usually do, asking one of our board members to share the mission with us. And today, Megan McCorriston has agreed to share the mission. Megan?
Hey, thanks, Bob. Early Learning Board's mission is to support children's academic and lifelong well-being by directing and supporting the EOEL for an effective, coordinated, high-quality early learning system from prenatal to kindergarten entry.
Thank you, Megan. As always, I ask you to keep that mission in mind as we deliberate and make decisions on behalf of our state's keiki and their families. Just for new members, to bring them up to date about how this hybrid meeting works, we need to know that the meeting will be recorded. The chair will announce the names of participating members for the roll call, and a quorum will be determined. All members who are participating must be visible and audible. The private chat comment feature in Zoom has been turned off. All comments will be public, and the votes will be conducted by roll call. Today's meeting will begin with our board transition process, as we're about to launch that process today with the welcome of two new board members who were recently appointed by the governor, and then bidding aloha to two of our members and a sharing of the plan for board member transition as new members are appointed. So first of all, I want to welcome Dr. Salma Gandhi and Stephanie Shipton, who are new appointees to the board. I'm going to provide a very brief introduction of them and ask them if they would share a little bit with us about themselves and their backgrounds and what inspired them to apply to sit on the Early Learning Board. So let's begin with Dr. Gandhi, who currently is the Hawaii Health Program Officer for the Stupski Foundation. She has a doctorate in business administration with an emphasis on healthcare management and leadership, and worked in the health field both on the Big Island and Hawaii and nationally as well. So Selma, welcome. We're delighted to have you join us. Selma will be occupying one of the at-large seats. So Selma, would you share a little bit about yourself? Let us find out who you are.
Thank you. I'm honored to join this great group of people. I have worked with many of you in over the many decades of our work together for Hawaii. I've had the privilege to live on the east side of Hawaii Island for the last 25 years. Raised my children here. They are close to jetting off through high school to college soon in the next year or so, and have worked in fields of child abuse and neglect, domestic violence, end-of-life care, which is a little bit different, and then also in the education system, both through Kamehameha Schools and UH, all around the focus of health and well-being. So I'm just delighted to join you all and to learn and to grow together. Mahalo.
Thank you, Selma. Welcome. We're delighted to have you join us. Yes, many of us have had the opportunity of working with you, particularly for some of us when we were with ECAS. So it's good to see you continuing this important work that we're doing. Stephanie Shipton describes herself as a consultant and a mom as her two primary occupations. She has two toddlers and obviously is kept quite busy. She's the founder of the Morning Dew Farm in Waialua and Kaneohe, and has experience both nationally and locally in the education field. Stephanie, would you share a bit about yourself?
Sure. Thank you, Bob. Aloha to the rest of the board. I'm so humbled to be in this space with names and faces, some who I recognize, and and some new ones. So it's good to see you for those who we've worked together before, and it's nice to meet you for those who are new. I am a mom. I have 2 toddlers. We had the joy of having 2 under 2. So it has been an adventure. And the reason I was excited to potentially join this board is because this work is personal for me. I have my kids, but I also am part of a larger community of moms trying to navigate what it means to be a mom in and out of a pandemic, what it means to be a working parent here, and what it means to sort of figure out how to tie it all together and make it all work. It's also no professional. My first real work in the education space where it really, captured my heart was in a pre-K public school in inner city DC in Columbia Heights, which has since gentrified, but at the time was primarily El Salvadorian students. And that was really where I began my career. And so for me, this feels full circle, and I'm looking forward to learning more about each of your perspectives of the board, its role, the potential going forward, and how we as a new board might honor and carry forward the great work that you all have done and continue to make space and hold space for your voices and voices from the communities that we all serve. So thank you for allowing us to be here and for holding space to introduce ourselves.
Well, Stephanie, delighted that you are joining the board, and both Selma and Stephanie, I will connect you with Kevin, who is the EOEL IT person, and he will introduce you to the website that has all the guiding materials and a bit of historical background to share about the board. And of course, I've already shared with you the access to the website and where minutes of previous meetings are. So there's a great deal of information to kind of plow through. But this particular group is one that can help orient you probably the best to the work that we've been doing. So I'm sure they'll be eager to respond to any questions that you might have as well. As part of this whole process, we recognized a transition. Once these first appointments were made, it became evident that we needed to figure out a way and a plan to have our transition between current members and the addition of new members. The governance subcommittee was tasked with that particular job, and Matt's going to share with you a bit about the plan that was arrived at that we are going to proceed with and actually are launching today. So Matt, I'll ask you if you would share with us the committee's plan.
Thank you, Bob. For Selma, and Stephanie, hi, welcome. My name is Matthew Shim. I'm Chief of the Family Health Services Division at the Hawaii State Department of Health. I serve as the ex officio designee for the Director of Health, Dr. Kenny Fink. I want to remind folks, let's see if I can share my screen. Kevin, can I share my screen? Thank you. Thank you too for helping Bob on the.
Oh yeah, sure, no problem.
Thank you. And sorry I couldn't get a hold of you because I was in meetings for the last 2 days. So. Okay. Okay, so this is SB 1022, which is Act 170 from last year. Just to remind folks, the new board composition is 1 voting member from the County of Hawaii, 1 voting member from the County of Maui, 1 voting member from the County of Kauai, 3 voting members from the City and County of Honolulu, and 3 at-large voting members. Superintendent of Education, Director of Human Services, Director of Health, President of the University of Hawaii are ex officio members and who are non-voting, and the Chief Executive Officer of Kamehameha Schools and the Executive Director of the Hawaii Association of Independent Schools, or their designees, are serve as ex officio non-voting members of the board. So it was our understanding from boards and commissions that until new board members and the entire board was in place, current board members would remain in their positions and serve as the acting early learning board until such time as everyone is in place and approved by the Senate. So we came up with a plan to transition our new board members in and our pre-Act 170 ELB board members out. So let me share a screen again. We shared this with you in the pre-guidance or the pre-information. There's a lot of words. You can focus on the big bullet points. So at our regular scheduled meeting, we had to figure out what would be the best way. So we discussed it and decided that as new Act 170 seats are appointed by the governor and subject to confirmation by the Senate, pre-Act 170 ELB members would transition out based on the oldest term ending date. So currently, the new board structure only has 9 seats. We actually have 11 in the pre-170. 2 of those seats were vacant, which was the representative of the Family Child Care Program providers and representative from the Hawaii Council of Mayors, or the representative's designee. So those 2 positions are no longer active. There are 3 current representatives of the pre-Act 170 board that expired. And in the following order, representative of philanthropic organizations that support early learning, representative of the Family Child Interaction Learning Program providers, and representative from the Hawaii chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics. The 6 remaining representatives in the pre-Act 170 board expire in the following order. Next would be the Head Start provider, representative from the Early Intervention Coordinating Council, representative of Hawaiian Medium Early Learning Providers, representative of center-based program providers, parent representative, and finally the representative of home visiting programs. So we received 2 appointments, Solma and Stephanie. So based on our transition plan, 2 members, this will be their last meeting, and that is the representative of philanthropic organizations and representatives of Family Child Interactive Learning Programs. And then as the governor appoints new members to the remaining 7 seats, this is the order here on the board or on the screen. How current pre-Act 170 members will transition out. That was a lot, I know that. Hopefully it was fairly clear, and now is an opportunity for folks to ask questions.
I have a question. This is Mari.
Yes, Mari.
Those people who, because, I'm expired, I'm just sitting here in the interim. But, because we are transitioning to the new people, that was before the law. So the new member to be already sent application form, like twice, actually. So what's going to happen for that? Do you have any ideas? Is the governor is going to use those applications to fill the rest of the positions, or is there something else?
Bob, do you have any information? Because I believe pre-Act 170, they would not consider any information or applications because there's a new board. So if that person would want to serve on the board, they wouldn't be serving in like the pediatrician capacity. They would actually have to apply for either a county position or an at-large position under the new Act 170 board structure.
That's correct. The former board structure representation does not exist, actually, in terms of the new signed law. So that a reapplication, even if you had applied before, you would have to reapply for the new board in one of those available seats that now are really related to geographical representation, either at large or from one of the 4 islands.
Okay, thank you. I'm
And
gonna
so-
let her know because she did that twice. I think because something was changed, they did apply it, but I don't know if that was a city and county position for the board to apply. I don't know where it went because I'm not the one who applied. So I'm gonna double check with her. Thank you.
Thanks,
And-
Mari.
I don't know if you have to specifically cite, let's ask Soma and Stephanie, did you have to specifically indicate which type of seat, either an at-large or a county representation that you were seeking?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't remember. Yes.
That's
That's
an unfair question, but I don't recall seeing it on the application. I've looked at the application. I don't remember seeing that anywhere. Stephanie, what about you? Do you recall?
I don't believe we did. I think it was just the standard boards and commission form that's on the boards and commission site. I don't
And then at the
recall.
very end, you indicate which board, and that's about as far as it goes, if I remember correctly. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, but Mari, I can check and find out for you.
Okay, thank you. Because if that's so, the general, just which one you want to sit on, then that's the application I did, and then she did probably, because I don't think there was any change in the form. So if you can let me know, that'd be great. Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Mari. And then Mari and others, until all the members, new members have transitioned in from boards and commissions, we're a hybrid board now. So you're all supposed to stay and remain and be voting members until you transition out. So please don't go anywhere, Mari. Not
Okay,
yet.
so
Not yet
that
anyways.
means that I may be out, but it's not necessarily the pediatrician comes in, right? Whoever come, I'm gonna be out because I'm first on the list. And if
Yes.
whoever
Yeah.
next come, the next person is gonna be go out. Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
Correct. Thanks, Mari. Any other questions from folks? Oh,
There
Go ahead,
is some
Bob.
question about whether or not, once we hit a quorum for the new board, if then all of us disappear. So I'm trying to get a handle on that issue.
Megan, you have a question. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, it's just a quick question, maybe like Mari's about process. So just as we did today, introducing 2 new board members, is it like those of us who are next to roll off on the list will roll off the board as soon as we get new members? And depending on the number and that sort of thing, is that how it's going to kind of roll out?
Yes, because we don't know who has applied and we don't know when we're going to get a list of appointees from the governor.
So it's an undetermined timeline sort of thing. Just hang in there
Yes.
until, okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it would be nice if we could do this as a really clean process, but I don't think that's a possibility. And I suspect that the interruption of life from Maui has also impacted the speed with which new appointments are being made.
So one of the things that the governance subcommittee will also be discussing at our next meeting in February is again, once a quorum of new board members are on board, we have to determine Bob as the chair will no longer be chair until the new board, I believe, votes on and selects a new chairperson. So even Bob is in transition, although his current seat will be an ex officio seat. We still need a chair, so he gets a lucky job of not being able to retire from that position yet. Thanks, Bob.
You're more than welcome, Matt.
All right, any other questions from folks?
Sorry, I'm kind of slow because I ate pizza for lunch. But you know, so if one is gonna out and then one is gonna come in, we don't know who is gonna be there. You know, we have some organization behind us, right? You know, like a family or the PD. I'm not a representative pediatrician, but somebody who is in the medical field. You know, it's something like that. So we don't know what is gonna be.
You mean you don't know who the appointee will be? Correct. We don't know who the
We have no
appointee
idea
will
what the composition is gonna be, right? Okay.
be. No.
Because the last one I saw was, you know, some of the seat was eliminated, but there was one line that we are recommending for the pediatrician. So
We did.
I was hopeful.
We did, and it was not none of those changes were accepted,
Okay.
and
Okay.
it reverted to the original plan that was presented by Senator Dela Cruz. So,
Okay. I got it. Thank you.
okay, Aaron, go ahead.
Mary, if you feel strongly about that, you certainly could write a letter to the governor.
Okay, I'll do that because, you know,
Discussing that.
among all of the people here, our group actually know from prenatal because we do the prenatal visit with the mom all the way to their aging out to adults. So, and then we are following the same family over the course. We do the 2 months, 4 months, 6 months old visit, going to school, intermediate school, high school. So we know those trajectory too. And then I think we have from the medical literature, we have something to share. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mari. Thank you, Aaron. Go ahead.
Okay, I have two questions. And one, I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is, which is, do we have an estimate of like the intent to have this transition completed this? We don't have any idea if it's going to be this legislative season. Okay, that's what I thought. But my second question is, we kind of put a pause on a lot of some of the subcommittee work that was happening. And I guess I'm asking because I see that I'm one of the last to be on the list. So I'm now feeling a little more uncertain what I should be doing in that period of time when I am still here. And if we should expect to continue or resume some committee work, or what would that look like? Or maybe you guys can discuss that at the governance level for us.
Well, I think one of the things we had discussed previously is getting the information from the subcommittees and then posting that on our ELB share drive. So at inbound folks can see what different committees are. So like right now we have 2 new members. Once they get access, they can look to see what current subcommittees there are, and if they're interested in taking over or becoming part of that group, they can absolutely become part of that group. I would encourage whatever work can be done, but with we know there's particular things that would be very difficult to do long-term without having a stable subcommittee or board as people are transitioning in and out. But whatever work you do complete, if you update and put that information in the folder. That's great for continuity for the next subcommittee. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, Bob, back to you.
Okay. One of the things we want to do today is to mahalo our two board members who are stepping away from their seats on the board. And one of them is Justina Acevedo Cross, who has been our philanthropy representative. Justina, we want to thank you for serving your 2 terms on the board, for participating on the director search subcommittee particularly, and highlight the fact that in partnership with Terry Locke, you really were the one leading the charge for the creation of the new ad hoc committee, the Workforce Equity Subcommittee, obviously a really important piece of work that continues now. And we're hoping, or at least I'm sure Terry is hoping, that you will continue to contribute to that particular subcommittee if you can in some way. We also, I personally want to recognize your leadership at HCF in support of trauma-informed care and your sensitivity to the needs of the infant and toddler mental health community that we have. We really have enjoyed working with you. Your ideas have always been provocative. You've kept us focused on equity issues, which we really appreciated. And we're hoping you will continue to join us at these meetings as a public member. So mahalo for all you've done. Aloha until we see you again. And I'm going to ask you if you had any words you would like to say to the board and have the opportunity to do so.
Thank you, Bob. I will keep it short. And I'm in sort of an awkward foray for, we're actually kicking off something related to our early learning board work with Project Launch today. So standing outside that room. So it's all connected, but I really wanted to take a moment and thank all the colleagues and board members who you together, I think we put our heart and time and talent in service of Keiki and Ohana. And it's really been a minute since I've attended as a community member, but I do hope to continue serving in some kind of capacity through the initiatives I'm working on at HCF and other roles. And Bob, you highlighted some of the things I've been reflecting on since we've had the conversation about transition. It's been 5 years, and I think thinking about like, was that time meaningful? It absolutely was. We were able to work on bringing a new spotlight and focus on the early childhood workforce with equity and excellence at the center of how we did that, looking at compensation strategies, and even passing policy as the early learning board to help in support of that. We had a lengthy search committee process to find Yuko, who's been a wonderful leader for the Executive Office of Early Learning. And for me personally, it's been a wonderful space for both professional growth and relationship building, getting reconnected to all parts of our early childhood ecosystem here. So I guess just in closing, I think my commitment to Ohana and Keiki, although it will be different, it won't be in the early learning board capacity. I will still be in spaces that are working on systems building for health and for early learning, and absolutely creating that inclusive mental health system that includes our infants and our toddlers. So I'd leave you with, because I know this work is hard and sometimes it feels slow, is continue to dream big and let's take action together to get true in real life. And as my 8-year-old says, IRL. So just, you guys are wonderful, and thank you for this opportunity. Mahalo.
Mahalo to you. I think we can all applaud your years and your time with us. The other person who is leaving the board is Melody. I don't think she has joined us yet. Am I correct about that?
He's here.
I don't see her on the list. I know she was going to join late, so we'll save our mahalo until Melody joins us, and maybe that will happen as we're doing a roll call of members for today's meeting to determine that we do have a quota so that action can be taken. So as I call your name, would you please indicate that you are here? And for current board members, if you would please also add just a little bit of information about your current professional position and the seat you occupy on the board so that Salma and Stephanie can get a sense of who you are and what agency or organization you're related to. So Salma and Stephanie, you don't need to tell us again who you are. I think we have that. But we do need to begin by calling on each member. Salma?
Present
Just
here.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Erin?
Here. I am Aloha. I'm Erin. I'm the home visiting representative at this time, and I am at the Association for Infant Mental Health in Hawaii.
Okay, thank you. Kailani Reha?
Aloha kako o Ilani Maeha with Aha Punana Leo, and I am currently the representative for Hawaiian Medium. Mahalo.
Thank you. Megan McCorston?
Present, Megan, I'm the CEO of Siegel Schools. We're a preschool and intergenerational organization. So I am the center-based preschool representative.
Thank you, Megan. Ben Naki?
Aloha, Ben Naki. I am the Head Start representative. I'm with Parents and Children Together. I'm the executive vice president of our early education programs, which operate Head Start and Early Head Start on Oahu and Hawaii Island.
Thank you, Ben. May O?
Hi, I'm here. I am the parent representative, and I'm currently with Learning to Grow.
Thank you, May. I'm Bob Peters. I represent the director of the Hawaii Association of Independent Schools on the board and am currently retired. Napua.
Aloha kako uvono Napua Rose Hill with Kamehameha Schools. I work out of the Strategic Partnership Office with an emphasis on early learning. Mahalo.
Thank you, Napua. Stephanie?
Here.
Thank you. Mari?
Yeah, I'm Mari Uehara. I'm a pediatrician by training. And I'm coming from the American Academy of Pediatrics Hawaii chapter. I'm always interested in the early childhood and the development. And then my hospital, I work for the hospital, for the clinic, and I'm a developmental behavior pediatrician. I'm a subspecialist in the pediatrics. Thank you.
Thank you, Mari. Carrie?
Aloha, Soma and Steph. Welcome. I'm Carrie Yarosevich, Executive Director of the Early Childhood Action Strategy. It's a government, non-government collaborative that works on the system of care for our youngest Keiki. And I am the outgoing chair of the Hawaii Early Intervention Coordinating Council, which I represent on this board.
Thank you, Carrie. Scott Nakasone?
Sorry about had some trouble there. Scott Nakasone, I'm representing Department of Human Services for Director Kathy Betts. I'm Assistant Division Administrator for Benefit Employment Support Services Division. We're the division that has childcare licensing and childcare subsidies, including the POD program.
Thank you, Scott. Rochelle Mahoy? Rochelle? I thought I saw her saying it. Okay. Steve Schatz is not here today. Matt Shim?
Here. I already introduced myself.
Thank you, Matt. We definitely have a quorum. All voting members are here at the moment. And meeting, we can move forward. I do not see Melody yet. Is that correct? Let's move on the agenda and we'll thank Melody when she has a chance to join us. The next item is to review and approve the minutes from the December 14th meeting. Would you take a moment to look at the minutes? And the chair will ask if there is any discussion. The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved, Bob. This is Carrie.
Thank you, Carrie. Is there a second?
I'll second. This is Kaitlani.
Thank you. The motion is made and second to approve the minutes as presented. Is there any discussion? I have one recommended change under the governance subcommittee portion of the report, which is toward the end. And if we could add in the action column, the approval of the director's goals for 2023 as submitted by the governance subcommittee. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move for a vote to approve the December minutes with the one recommended amendment to the governance subcommittee in the action column of the report. Selma?
Approve.
Thank you. Erin?
Aye.
Kaitlani?
Aye.
Megan?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
May?
Aye.
I vote aye. Napua?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Mari?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
The minutes have been approved with the one amended section as recommended. Thank you, everyone. And the next item on the agenda is an opportunity for public comment. The floor is open for the public to make any comments that are related to specific agenda items, reminding everyone that there's a 2-minute time limit for those comments to be shared. Is there any public comment? I don't see any. Do you have anything in the chat? There's nothing in the chat, so we will move on. I see that Melody has joined us. Now we have already thanked Justina for her service on the board. We want to mahalo you as well as the Family Child Care Interaction Learning Representative, having served 2 full terms on the board and worked with Justina actually as the board member on the Workforce Equity Subcommittee. Melody is currently with Keikioka Aina and has been a leader in her school setting, in her FCIL setting, in establishing an apprenticeship program to help address some of the critical workforce needs. And this seems really an appropriate area for her because for many years, Mel was also part of HCYC, very much involved in the careers and Hawaii Careers for Young Children Workforce and the professional development system building through all that time. I worked with Mel for many, many years, and I think probably between the two of us, we can be considered the institutional memory of this board, Mel, because we have been around so long. It's been a pleasure always to work with you. You've contributed incredibly to the richness of our conversations on the board, particularly around workforce and access to equal quality opportunities. We'll hope you continue to work with us and this board in some way that suits your particular times and needs and expertise, because we've all benefited from the opportunity of your wisdom and counsel. So mahalo nui, and we'll open the floor to you if you have anything you would like to say to the board at this point.
I just want to say thank you. It's been a pleasure, honor to be part of this and to be able to work at a systems level that I know we're making a difference in many ways. So thank you. And don't forget about family-child interaction learning. We're still going to be there. I let everyone know that they can still participate in as a community member, even if there isn't any definite or defined representation, they can still be a community member on the board and have a voice in that way. So thank you, Bob. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Mel. We certainly have appreciated working with you during this time. And Mel leaves a really good message, I think, for all of us as board members. We've had this forum as a place to have our voices heard, but that doesn't mean that our voices can't be heard in the broader community, both at these meetings and in the legislature as we follow the bills being passed. And I think one of the areas that I personally would hope to see this early childhood community become an even stronger advocate in the legislative scene to help our legislators understand the critical nature of early learning as part of the infrastructure and the sustainability of our community and our state. So use those voices the way that Mel and Justina have, and I know will continue to do in the future. Mahalo nui loa to you both. I will move now to the Executive Office on Early Learning Updates. Yuko is joining us virtually today. So Yuko, I'll turn it over to you and your staff.
Hi, everybody. I'm so sorry I can't be in person. I was not feeling well last night. I just felt it's better if I just don't be around people today. So I hope you can hear me, but let me share my screen. So here are updates for January. The first thing I just wanted to do is share a little highlight. Usually I try to get our office together quarterly, but it's been pretty challenging with travel and some other things happening last year, especially my first time going to the legislature. So at a recent ECAS convening, we learned about Kokua Kalihi Valley and all the great work that they're doing for a community in terms of all of these different aspects that you can see on the right side. And I just thought it'd be really great to have us outside of the office together and giving back to a space that gives so much to our community. So you can see a picture of our office staff -2 on the left side. And it was just a really great time to be together, giving back. And again, I wanted to thank ECAS for inviting Puni Jackson to that one of the last convenings, because this is how we learned about it. And we're able to actually get out there and just spend some time together giving back. And it was really nice. So here's some updates on early learning. If I could have Ian share this part, please.
Thanks, Yuko. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ian Okamoto, Workforce Development Specialist at the Executive Office on Early Learning. I would like to give a little bit of an update regarding the Early Childhood Educator Stipend Program. So happy to report, the applications for the spring term, I think as I reported at the last meeting, closed at the beginning of December. In looking at the results of that, there were a total of 179 applicants for the spring term. So as you can see in the chart there, we started with 21 applicants when there was the pilot in the summer, moved and grew to about 70 applicants for the fall term. And for this last spring term, you can see this large jump in applications. So we had 179 The stipends were awarded and are currently being processed and finalized. So I'm hoping that by the next meeting, I can have more specifics as to the total number of awardees and the kinds of programs that they're pursuing. Continuing on with workforce development, as Bob mentioned, there is the apprenticeship program that was started by Kikioka Aina. It is a registered apprenticeship, and it's an exciting opportunity and program, and to kind of build off of the work and to learn from the work that that went into creating this program. We would like to have a early childhood education apprenticeship program convening, which is going to be held on February 22nd at Honolulu Community College. And so the information is there. Actually, there is a flyer that is available as well. And really, we want to be able to share what has been done in this work in Hawaii, and kind of build off of that. I think in the last meeting, I had talked about a partnership with one of the national programs that has been supporting this work. But I think what we wanted to do is really start off by making sure we learn from the folks here in Hawaii who have been doing the work. And so this is going to be the starting point for that. So yeah, just wanted to share those two pieces. Thank you, Yuko.
Thank you, Ian. The next part I wanted to address, and so for the new folks that are joining us, we're following along with the roadmap that was submitted to the legislature at the end of last session. So action item number 2 has to do with addressing facilities for early care and education programs. And one of the goals that I've been working on as an interim Head Start State Collaboration Director also is to reopen at Princess Nahi'enaena in January 2024. So we just received a proposal for the testing of the sand in the sandbox. The next step is the disposal of the sand and replacement of the sand. And we're also continuing to get the replacement of the permanent shade structure on campus. The other piece going along with what Mel had shared, originally EOEL had, there were 4 sites that were interested in hosting an FCIL program on their campus, which is great because this year we had 2, Nanakuli and Kailua Elementary School. But what happened was that right around December, in the midst of when the RFP was out, we learned that those 2 new sites could no longer host the FCIL program. One, because their early childhood special education enrollment went up and they were going to be needing the space. Another one had hoped that, and also a growing school enrollment. And so we had to adjust, luckily, and reissue this again for just Nanakuli and Kailua Elementary School. However, we do know that we want to continue supporting FCILs. So as soon as we can get through this process and ensure we meet the timeline so that these schools can continue to start at the beginning of next school year, then we'll start looking at opportunities to support other FCIL programs. One of the things I wanted to highlight was Nanakuli Elementary School, since I was just talking about FCIL. So Nanakuli Elementary School was one of the very first cohorts that hosted an EOEL public pre-K back in 2014. They're also one of the first to support an FCIL program in 2022. And at the beginning of this last school year, they had such a huge wait list that they asked for another room. And so it took a little bit of time to get that established, but half a year is not too long. And so they were able to open their second EOEL public pre-K 6 months ahead of time. They were originally slated to open this August, but they were able to open in January so that the principal could clear her wait list. And then, of course, now she has another wait list. But it was really exciting to have the support of Principal Lisa Higa and to have her valuing and supporting EOEL public pre-K since 2014. I wanted to share about the funding for the early care and education system. So this is action item number 3. The Department of Human Services and Scott Nakasone's team released that the preschool open doors applications are now open. Deadline is March 28th to 2024. And so now applications are accepted for both 3 and 4-year-old children who are born between August 1st, 2019 through July 31st, 2021. So if your child is born between August 1st, 2019 and July 31st, 2021, please consider applying to preschool open doors. On the right side, you can also see their expanded income limits. And so we're really hopeful to bring the support to families so that they can choose the care that they wish to have for their children and to be able to offer an increased subsidy to the families as well. For expansion, another portion is addressing the program quality improvement and maintenance, and item number 4. So this is a portion of our PDGB5 team, but it is also linked to quality improvement. So CLASS is a scoring system and observation instrument that looks at teacher-child interaction. So it looks at emotional support, classroom organization, and instructional support. And these are critical elements because this is the primary way of supporting children's development and learning. And that if it is effective, then it is the foundation for all learning in early childhood classrooms. And so our PDGB5 team is going to be meeting to discuss the class baseline results on Tuesday, January 30th of 2024. So I'd like to turn this portion over to Jordana.
Aloha everyone, just a few quick legislative updates. So I'm sure everybody knows that opening day was this week on Wednesday. So the 2024 legislative session, which is the supplemental year of the biennium, has begun. Prior to this week, NCSL, in collaboration with a few legislators, had hosted an early care and education briefing. So I'll save that update for later, but that one was on January 11th. EOEL and DHS had done a joint presentation at the briefing, along with a few other community members, a parent rep. So for example, Terry Locke and Deb Zeisman with HCAN were also there to present. Okay, a few other major timelines. So on opening day, EOEL staff had attended floor sessions for both chambers, and then we walked around the Capitol and handed out our legislative flyer with some additional information of our priorities for this upcoming session to legislators, and congratulated them on the start of another year and looking forward to working with them this session. Friday, so tomorrow, is the deadline for non-administrative bill package introductions. Monday, January 22nd is the governor's state of the state address and will be the final day for the introduction of the administrative bill package. And then Wednesday, the 24th is the deadline for all bill introductions.
Sorry, Jordana. I'm so sorry. It got the pictures it looks like it got sorry, one moment. Let me stop sharing. It looks like it got reversed a little bit. I apologize then. Because I know the NCSL was right before that portion. Sorry, one moment. Let me just go back to presenting, Jordana, and we'll just try to work through it. I'm so sorry. I don't know how it got swapped around. Right, so you did the major timelines already. We talked about the NCSL. So we can do the 2 briefings one. Is that okay, Jordana? So this is the NCSL portion that she was talking about, where we highlighted, where we did a joint presentation with the Department of Human Services. Okay.
And then we had our budget and informational briefings. So on Tuesday, January 16th, we had both finance and WAM budget briefings. We, as everyone here knows, we didn't have any additional budgetary requests. Our requests were to just keep our budget that was appropriated at the start of the biennium intact. But we did share also our legislative proposal with the House and the House Committee on Finance and Senate Committee on Ways and Means. And then yesterday, the 18th at 2 p.m., we had our House Committee on Education informational briefing. So this is where we focus more on the educational aspect, our legislative proposals, some of the efforts that we're doing to expand opportunities, as well as the request to maintain our budget as appropriate in the budget.
Thank you, Jordana. Can I have Alohi talk about our preschool development grant, please?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Alohi Mayava. I am a project specialist with a program specialist with the Executive Office on Early Learning. I'm really connected to our preschool development grant for our new board members. Welcome. So for a few updates for the preschool development grant, overall, year one fiscal report is due at the end of this month, along with our programmatic report for quarter 4. And then we also have our annual performance progress report. There's a few different reports needed for PDGB5 that kind of look at a few different aspects. And so that one's going to be due at the end of March. So that one's a little bit bigger than our usual quarter reports. And then we have a year one fiscal report. And then for 1 and 2, no updates, but for activity 3 around family and parent engagement, we are working with Kauai Planning Action Alliance. They are the nonprofit that's supporting the position for the Kauai County coordinator. So they're hosting a ECE conference on the 17th of February, and PDGB5 was able to kind of support some of the costs. For our workforce activity, we've contracted with AIM High to deliver a series of sessions addressing trauma and being trauma informed. And then UH College of Ed was able to, along with Honolulu Community College and Kauai Community College, was able to support a student ambassador program pilot. So they were able to review what happened and lessons learned, and they were able to incorporate from the last pilot and relaunch this ambassador program at Honolulu Community College and Kauai Community College. They're also a part of our supporting a College of Ed's work with PDGB5. They're looking at their bachelor's in education, B through 8, and reviewing that through their internal processes. You can go to the next slide, please. Lastly, for our program quality improvement, like Yuko shared, we've completed class observations for 40 center-based classes statewide. So we're going to be looking at that data. And then lastly, HCYC has taken feedback and is reviewing feedback to incorporate that and update their career lattice framework. And with that career lattice framework, it also is aligned with or is incorporating the early educators standards, and then Emalama Keiki. So I missed a word there, but there might be a typo there, but there's alignment with those 2 documents. Any questions? If not, that's it for PBT. Thank you. Oh, here's a flyer for the Kauai conference that was mentioned. So if you know anybody in Kauai or happen to be on the island, please share the flyer and attend if you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Alohi. And for everybody who's listening and has a slide deck, and if you don't have access to the slide deck, I can share it with you directly. But if you just click here, you can register right on the slide deck. And next, just one quick update for health, mental health, and nutrition from Mikako. Mikako?
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. Hi, I'm Mikako. To the new board members, my name is Mikako Deguchi, and I'm a new I'm the institutional analyst for the EOEL. I just wanted to mention one of the meetings that I attended recently. So I attended a DOH Infant Early Childhood Mental Health Consultation meeting on January 16th. The meeting was to improve mental health for children 0 to 3. And it was on to how to make mental health consultation services available for families and care providers. Thank you.
Thank you, Mikako. That was our last slide, Chair. So if anybody has any questions, we can answer them for you.
Ben?
Okay. A quick question about the early childhood stipend program. Like, it's kind of awesome to see the numbers increase. Just wondering if there's any data that shows, of the applications that came in, how many of those applicants are new to the field, existing in the field, and if they're existing, in kind of what programming are they existing? Are they in the public sector? Are they in the private sector? I'm not sure if you guys are collecting that data, but would kind of be interesting to see if we're getting anybody new into the sector, which I think is the hope, right, to build capacity. So just wondering, Yuko or Terry.
Well, Ian, are you still on?
So yeah, Ben, that's a great question. And actually, I'm happy to share that we do collect that data as folks submit their agreements for the stipend. So we have we have some employment information that we collect upon entry. And so that is something that we can kind of take a look at. So maybe that's something that I can try to pull for the next meeting.
And Ben, I wanted to kind of go along with that too. So we have a shared document between EOEL and UH. And before we were tracking by campus. So we were just tracking by campus, but we know that if somebody's getting a CTEP, the likelihood of them going into the DOE is higher than if they're getting a ECE degree, just a general ECE degree. And so we're hoping that starting this fall, we can start to distill out that type of information in terms of what specific program they're enrolled in. And then it can help us with projections into which area they're typically going. I know I don't have the data in front of me, but I do know that the majority of the people who were in the program in the first couple of sets did not belong to public sector.
Megan, I know you have a question, but Carrie has one that's also about the stipend program. So if we can do that one first. Carrie?
Thanks, Bob. Yuko, are we making sure that for the applicants that did not get accepted or did not get the stipend, are they referred then over to Chaminade so that we make sure that they know of all the different opportunities that are available?
Ian, so in terms of people like not getting accepted, so I'll let Ian speak to this after me, but lots of times I don't think anybody is like denied because we have money to support everybody. But I do know that there are people like who have started applications but didn't finish it, or they went through and then all of a sudden they got funding from some other source, so they chose to use that source. So we know that there's some shifting with that. But Ian, is there any other information you can provide on that question that Carrie had?
That's a great question, Carrie, as to what kind of outreach or communication we give to the folks who don't successfully receive stipends. But as Yuko shared, we are able to provide stipends to pretty much everyone who qualifies, and so that's part of the process, is kind of looking for those folks who qualify, either that they didn't complete the application or they are not meeting the minimum qualifications that we have for those programs, or they're, they've applied for the stipend but are actually not even pursuing early childhood programs or completion of programs. But I think I will go back and kind of take a look to see if there's any type of outreach that we provide to those folks as they, who are not able to receive applicants who are not able to successfully receive stipends.
Thank you.
Megan? I think you're muted, Megan.
Sorry about that. I have a quick question for Mikako and her presentation. This event that you attended, I think you referenced something about mental health services being linked with providers or practitioners in the field. Did I understand that correctly? And if so, I'm just curious what that looks like. How do providers access those services?
No, I'm sorry. I'll clarify. The meeting was, I guess my understanding of what was presented was how mental health consultation can be made available to improve mental health of kids through families or caregivers. So my take was how these services can be delivered, I guess. So that was the meeting on, and actually one of our board members, Erin, was the co-lead presenter. So if she can add to it, that would be great.
Sure. Would you want me to expand a little bit? Okay. All right. So that meeting was essentially for the past 2 years, Hawaii's actually had a team of private and public partners. Carrie's on that team with me, as well as Justina was on that team. And we were working on kind of designing I shouldn't say designing, but I should say just kind of thinking through what an infant early childhood mental health consultation program or system might look like for the state. So it was our, I guess we have been doing that for 2 years. Technical assistance has been received from 0 to 3, which is a national foundation or national group, national nonprofit. And this was basically like the culmination of that, the 2 years that we've been meeting together. Also on that team includes some Department of Health, such as our early intervention, home visiting, as well as DHS too. So we're kind of telling the community that we've kind of been talking about this, that we've been working through some thoughts and how this might look. So just more to open the invitation and kind of start the conversation in the community about what IUCMH consultation could look like. I hope I captured that quickly and well enough for you all. Carrie, I see you unmute.
Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Megan.
I'm sorry, Carrie. If there's just a way for schools to engage in terms of at least spreading awareness to our families, because we do serve a large population, that would be great. Thanks.
Thanks, Megan. I just wanted to add one thing specific to your question, and I'll probably push it back to you, Erin. So consultation is for the providers. It's to help build capacity for the providers. It isn't necessarily mental health services directly to the child in the program. That's another step. But I would just encourage you to talk directly with Erin and Aim High, because I know that they are working with current preschool programs.
Thank you.
Mari, you had a question.
Yes, quick question, but I just wanted to add on because people are disappearing from the screen. That's really great, because when I was visiting different preschools, one of the things I noticed that when the teacher was not in a good shape, it actually reflects on the practice in the classroom. That was very clear. And then when I visited after several months, it was like a huge difference after they got what they needed. So I think that's very important. Okay, so my question is, the stipend program is sort of like growing our own people here, right? They're going to the college, you can finish the college, and we are going to be. And then, I have some people when I talk with other people, because we're talking about this early childhood more probably in the community. And then the DOE is putting out the 4-year classroom and everything else. I think there are some people who are a little bit more aware of this field growing. And then I think traditionally American family kick out their kids at 18 years old to the other states or other places. So there are some actually parents asked me that their kids are doing the early childhood education, but they are from Hawaii and they are actually hoping to come back. Is there some welcoming program or way to kind of bridge? I mean, this is beyond what you talked about, but I just wanted to throw it. So maybe it's a part of the things that you can think a little bit later. When I saw the apprenticeship, is that something they can connect to so that they can be actually kind of update what's going on in the community? Something like that. I think that'll be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mari. Can I ask you a question about that? So I just want to make sure I captured what you just said correctly. Like, are you saying that you are aware of families that are interested in moving back to Hawaii because of the program opening up? Is that what you're saying? Or you're just saying that how can we let families who are moving to Hawaii know about the program?
Okay, I'm not sure who was talking, but what I was saying is, the family stays here, and then the college kids go out to the college outside of the state, but they are majoring in the early childhood, and then the child may want to come back. The child is already in 20s. They're going to come back. And is there something to connect, because they finish their early childhood education somewhere. So they could be qualified people to teach in this community. And then they were grown here. So it's not like a completely foreign place. So I'm wondering if there's some bridging or the welcoming program to, okay, if you learned outside and if you want to come back and then join us, you can. And then I wonder if there's something to attract those people. The stipend is great because we are growing our people here. But, those people, families, base is here, but went outside just for the college. And it's just my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that idea, Mari. It's a really great idea. And we do know that people can transfer licenses. We do work with the Hawaii State Teacher Standards Board. And so we do know that a lot of, there is a set of people who receive their early childhood education credential from out of state that are actually sitting in the Hawaii Teacher Standards Board pool right now. And they're actually in our schools, but that's a really good idea to see how could we possibly connect with the schools that serve Hawaii children. So yeah, that'd be great. I'll connect with maybe Steve on that.
Are there any other questions for Yuko or any members of the office staff who presented? I don't see anything in the chat, but I have not a question, but I wanted to share something that I did watch the NCSL briefing that both Jordana and Yuko spoke about. And I wanted to mention that one of the other speakers in the briefing was the Lieutenant Governor. Lieutenant Governor Luke made a special point of extending her appreciation to Yuko and the office for the flexibility and the problem-solving approach that was taken as the Ready Keiki initiative moves forward. And particularly, I think she was thinking of the expansion of the recent classroom. That was in Nanakuli, correct? The additional classroom. That was a specific example she gave, but it was clear that she was prizing the partnership and the work of EOEL and recognizing its ability to collaborate and to move this initiative forward. So I wanted to share that information with everybody on the board and also to extend my own personal congratulations for the public kudos that we received from the Lieutenant Governor.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for the
I
work,
just
all
want
of you.
that our whole office has been working very, very hard. It's taken a lot of flexibility and a lot of work, and everybody's, moving at a pretty quick pace. But I think that there's really good alignment in our office, and I think that everybody's working hard. And so nothing could be done without everybody doing their part. So I appreciate our team too.
Well, thank you all for the good work, and obviously we'll keep expecting that good work. That's what boards do to people. But thank you. All right, if there are no other comments, we can move to item number 7 on the agenda, which is the only subcommittee report we have for this meeting is an additional update for the governance subcommittee. So Matt, we'll turn back to you again.
Share my screen again. Okay, can you folks hear me now? Okay. Again, last month, we presented the director evaluation items and the board approved. My oversight was, although it was implied that we would, these were in addition to the regular standard evaluation items, we felt that it would be best to list all of the standard items that the board had previously approved as director evaluation leadership standards, along with the ones that you guys just approved last month. So on the screen, things that you approved were in blue, and then we just added items 1.3 and 1.4 from our standards and indicators. We added 3.2, and then numbers, items 4 and 5. So you've all seen those previously. There's no change to those, and there's no specific objective measures assigned to those, as in the other ones that we presented to the board and you approved. So let's see. I would like to make a motion to amend the previously approved EOEL director evaluation with the new items outlined in red font and yellow highlight for the board to review and approve.
All right, thank you, Matt. The motion has been made to approve the amended version of the EOEL Director's Evaluation for the 2023 year. Is there 23-24 year? Is there a second?
This is Ben, I'll second.
Thank you, Ben. The floor is open for any discussion of the action item approval of the amendment. Let's see. I don't see anything in the chat, so I presume we can move forward to take a vote on the amendment as presented. You are voting on approving the amended version of the EOEL Director's goals for her evaluation for the 23-24 year. Selma?
Aye.
Erin?
Aye.
Okay, Yeleni?
Aye.
Megan?
Aye.
Ben?
Aye.
May?
Aye.
I vote aye. Napua?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Mari?
Aye.
Carrie?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion has been approved as presented. Matt, did you have anything else that you wish to add regarding that?
No, Bob, I'm all set. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Did you say?
I said I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Okay, because I didn't need to hear anything. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is one we have continued to include in the agenda related to any updates that any members have, or the public actually, about the Maui early childhood status. So we'll open the floor for any comments that anyone first on the board might have to make related to Maui to share with us about the situation there with regards to the early learning community. Anyone have anything to add? All right, I don't see any indication that anyone wishes to add anything, so we can move to the second opportunity for public comment on agenda items from this meeting, again with a 2-minute limit on that sharing. Is there any public comment at this point in the meeting? I see nothing in the chat again, and we will move on to item number 10, which is member updates. Are there any member updates for this meeting?
I have one.
I'm sorry, Carrie?
I have one.
Okay, Carrie and then Ben. I'm sorry, we'll go in that. That's okay?
Yep.
Sorry, Ben. My first update is please look out for and provide testimony and support for salary increases for our early intervention specialists. We did a WICHE study, salary study, and there will be requests this legislative session to increase, which is exciting. And then my second update is March 5th is the ECAS All Network meeting. So please mark your calendars for March 5th. There'll be another focus on wellness, and it'll be out at Ko'olau again. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben, I'm sorry, I didn't see you at first.
No, all good, Bob. Just a quick update from the Head Start world. The Office of Head Start back in November issued a notice of proposed rulemaking to make some changes to health Head Start performance standards. It's been open for public comment for the last 60 days. Today's the deadline. But just wanted to let kind of our Hawaii contingency here know that a lot of the proposed changes are around workforce and development, around salary structures, mental health needs, addressing mental health needs, including mental health consultation, and then also some other quality improvement activities. So I think everybody in Head Start is kind of interested to see what comes out of the public comment. There's been a lot of chatter around if there's going to be any funding to help support proposed changes. And if not, programs may have to look at alternatives to strategies to complying with any of the mandates that'll come forth. But I mean, that's not, we're not there now, but I think a lot of the Head Start community is just worried about if these mandates come down, changes come down, and they're unfunded, what does that mean for existing Head Start programs, utilizing their existing funding, which might result in decreased enrollment levels to make up the funding support that's necessary to address the changes. But anyway, I just wanted to let people know kind of what's happening in the Head Start world. Thanks.
Thank you, Ben. Erin.
Aloha. From the home visiting side, just wanted to share some really wonderful news. I find it to be wonderful, but there is a Association of State and Tribal Home Visiting Initiatives group, and Hawaii's very own from the Department of Health, his Jeremy Heyer, is going to be on their board of directors, just started in 2024. So this is very wonderful, and it's to have someone from Hawaii represented on this board. and that we're incredibly fortunate to have this representation on this national entity that does push forth initiatives for evidence-based early childhood home visiting. So this just really does highlight the groundbreaking work happening in our own state for home visiting programs, as led by the Department of Health and the community partners who are on the ground serving the families where they're needed most. So just wanted to say congratulations and share that wonderful news.
Thank you, Aaron. Congratulations to him. Carrie, you said you had another.
Yes, sorry. One more bill to pay attention to. The Office of Wellness and Resilience has a peer support specialist bill. And that is to help support women who are experiencing substance abuse, but they are also seeking treatment. And that the program is called Makua Allies. And it's intended to keep parent with, mom with baby, so that baby doesn't end up in child welfare, and that mom stays in treatment. It's been very, very successful. And one of the key reasons is because of the peer specialist position, and that person has lived expertise and just comes alongside mom to help. And so they are looking at increased funding and looking at institutionalizing some of this peer support specialists positions in our systems. So again, very important for our youngest Kiki.
Thank you, Carrie. I'm going to share one announcement from HAIS. HAIS is once again facilitating the Kahilai Summit, which will be held in the late spring. They are seeking proposals for presentations. And those of you who are not familiar with Kahilai, focus is on trauma-informed care, particularly. If anyone is interested in offering a proposal, please check the HAIS website and click on Kahilai Summit, and all the information will be there for you to follow. Any other member updates? I don't see anything else in the chat, so we will move to the last item on the agenda, which is to review our outcomes for today. We have two primary outcomes of this meeting. One is the presentation of the plan for board transition and the welcoming of new members, the launching of the new board from Act 170. The second one is the approval of the amended director's evaluation goals for 2023-24. As an additional item with regard to the next meeting, a business item that we will have on the agenda is a conversation about public pre-K toilet training requirements for 3- and 4-year-olds. This issue was raised at the WAM briefing on January 16th. The chair, Senator Donovan Dela Cruz, suggested that the board have a conversation around toilet training requirements for admission to the 3- and 4-year-old programs in the public pre-K. If you are interested, I will send all board members a link to the briefing so that you can hear the positions that were shared by the legislators in this conversation. It will be on our agenda. I have asked you to check with the Attorney General's office to determine what is really the nature of this issue, and is it something that can even be considered in terms of a requirement. We're not sure about that possibility, but we will have conversation as requested by Senator Dela Cruz at our next meeting. Those are the meeting outcomes that we have from today, along with this meeting announcement. The next one, as we traditionally do at the end of our meetings, Carrie provides us with some good thoughts to take with us as we leave and continue our work on behalf of Hawaii's children. Carrie?
Sure, and before I leave you with that, I would just really encourage you, when Bob sends out the link to the hearing with the time, it's about 15 minutes. Please listen to it. There's a lot of issues in there. even beyond the toilet training issue in terms of the legislators' understanding of child development, early childhood development, and I personally found it extremely offensive. And I just want to give Yuko a lot of credit for her very professional response to what for me was very unprofessional behavior. So I would just encourage you, please, in preparation for our conversation, to please watch it. Okay, I'm gonna leave you. I'm moving from Star Wars quotes, and I'm going to leave you today with an Oprah Winfrey quote. Cheers to a new year and another chance for us to get it right.
Thank you. Carrie, and thank you everyone for your good work today. We're pleased to have our new members with us, and saddened to say aloha to those who have given so much to our work, but we know they will continue to support children and families across our state. Aloha, everyone, and take care.